The Landman Season 2 Episode 1, reminding us why Taylor Sheridan's world feels so dangerously alive. Season 1 ended with Monty Miller's shocking death, a twist that left Tommy standing shoulder to shoulder with Cammy, the widow who's not just stepping into her late husband's role, but rewriting it in her own ruthless image. Now, with Episode 1 of Season 2, the table has completely turned. Cammy declares herself ready to take control, claiming that the only difference between her and Monty is that she's meaner. Those words don't just sting, they draw the battle lines for everything that's to come. On the other side of the table stands Tommy, a man who has built his survival on bending rules without ever letting them break him. But now, he's caught between loyalty to his family, his uneasy alliance with Cammy, and the deadly new threats that come with his growing ties to the cartel. This is where the brilliance of Sheridan's writing shines through. He doesn't just tell a story about oil, money, and land. He tells a story about blood, legacy, and the price of power when every move feels like it could be your last. And then comes the twist that changes the game forever. Just when the dust of Monty's death has barely settled, the trailer reveals Sam Elliott's character, a man known simply as Pops. From the moment Tommy utters that nervous word in a tense phone call, it's clear this isn't just any father-son relationship. Pops is the original Landman, the figure whose shadow Tommy has lived under his entire life. And now he's stepping out of the past and into the center of the storm. Sam Elliott brings with him a kind of gravitas that no one else can. He's not just another character. He's the embodiment of Texas grit, of old wounds that never healed, and of a legacy that Tommy may never escape. This reveal in Episode 1 doesn't just serve as a cliffhanger. It sets the tone for an entire season where family history collides with present danger in ways that will test every ounce of Tommy's strength. But Sheridan doesn't stop there. Just as we're processing Pop's arrival, the trailer drops another bombshell. Billy Bob Thornton is back in Sheridan's world. But this time, he's not playing the slick lawyer from Goliath. Instead, he's stepping into Landman as a powerful figure whose motives are as dangerous as they are unpredictable. Thornton's character is tied to the cartel storyline, which has been simmering since Tommy's first uneasy handshake with Andy Garcia's role. In Episode 1, and that's just the first episode. From what the trailer hints, the premiere throws us straight into chaos with no slow build. Cammy asserting her dominance, Tommy pushing back, cartel threats bleeding into boardroom negotiations, and then the thunderous arrival of Pops. All these threads collide at once. By the time the credits roll on Episode 1, the audience won't just be wondering what happens next, they'll be desperate for it. The brilliance of this setup is that Sheridan is giving us exactly what we wanted: high-stakes drama, powerhouse performances, and a reminder that in Landman, nobody gets out clean. And with Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton now in play, the danger feels more real than ever. This isn't just another season, it's a war for survival, and Episode 1 is the opening shot. If Episode 1 of Landman Season 2 is the spark, then the rest of the story is the wildfire, and everything begins with the fallout from Tommy's new reality. The trailer makes it painfully clear that Tommy is a man being pulled in every direction at once, and Sheridan doesn't waste a single moment reminding us that this isn't just about oil, it's about survival in a world where every handshake carries a hidden knife. We see Tommy stepping into rooms where the stakes couldn't be higher, facing down power brokers who see him as both a threat and a pawn, while cartel shadows creep closer with every passing deal. And right at the center of this dangerous balancing act is Cammy, Monty's widow, who is no longer content to sit quietly at the side of the table. Instead, she storms into the premiere episode like a queen taking her throne, and her chilling declaration that she's meaner than her late husband isn't just a warning, it's a promise. Tommy knows it, the bankers know it, and the cartel knows it too. What Episode 1 sets up is not just a battle for control of Monty's empire. It's the kind of Cold War where alliances crumble overnight, and betrayal is always one wrong step away. But Sheridan, in true fashion, never lets us forget that behind every power play, there's a family left bleeding from the crossfire. Episode 1 begins to peel back layers of Tommy's home life, showing us that while Angela stands beside him with a quiet but fierce loyalty, even she can feel the walls closing in. Her role in Season 2 is more than just a wife's support. She is Tommy's anchor, the one person who tries to remind him that family matters more than deals or land. Yet the trailer hints at this personal struggle mirrors the external chaos perfectly, reminding us that Tommy's battles aren't just in boardrooms and oil fields, they're in his own home, where love and fear collide. And then comes the storm that changes everything. Pops. Sam Elliott's introduction as Tommy's father in episode 1 isn't just a dramatic twist, it's the foundation on which the rest of the season will stand. From the moment we hear Tommy's nervous voice muttering, "Pops," the entire tone shifts. Suddenly, this isn't just a story about oil or cartel power, it's about legacy, shame, and the ghosts of choices made long before Tommy took the reins. Pops is painted as the original Landman, the one whose name has hung over every deal, every whispered story, every unspoken expectation. And now he's here in the flesh, ready to remind Tommy that the land they fight for doesn't just belong to the future, it belongs to the past too. Their relationship promises to be raw, confrontational, and heartbreaking, because Pops isn't the kind of man who offers comfort. He's the kind of man who demands respect, control, and obedience. Tommy may have thought he was the master of his own destiny, but Pops' presence reminds him that some chains are forged in blood and can never be broken. As if that wasn't enough, the trailer drops Billy Bob Thornton's character into the mix with a kind of energy that feels like gasoline poured on fire. Thornton plays a man with cartel ties, someone who operates in the shadows but wields influence that can reshape the entire playing field. His presence in episode 1 instantly escalates the danger because he represents everything Tommy has been trying to avoid: violence, unpredictability, and the kind of ruthless power that doesn't care about legacy or family. If Pops is the immovable object, Thornton's character is the unstoppable force, and Tommy is caught right in the collision path. The trailer teases moments where Thornton's sly charisma clashes with Elliott's steel, hinting at a battle of wills that could consume Tommy before he even realizes it. These aren't just two legendary actors sharing the screen. They are two titans shaping the battlefield that Tommy has to navigate, and every move he makes will be judged, challenged, or crushed by the weight of their influence. Episode 1 doesn't hold back in reminding us that Landman is more than a story about oil barons and deals. It's about power that comes at a cost no one can truly afford. The cartel threads bleed into every scene, reminding Tommy that the partnerships he's made are no longer just business. They're life or death. The trailer hints at chilling confrontations, whispered threats, and moments where one wrong move could bring everything crashing down. And yet, Sheridan balances all of this with his signature style. Family dinners laced with tension, quiet moments where Tommy stares out at the Texas land as if searching for answers, and a looming sense of inevitability that tells us something is going to break. By the end of episode 1, viewers will realize that the stage has been set not for a season of small battles, but for a war that will pit family against family, loyalty against ambition, and survival against legacy. Episode 1 also teases the generational theme that Sheridan has mastered in every show he creates. Just as Yellowstone explored John Dutton's struggle to preserve a family legacy, and 1923 showed us the brutality of those who built it, Landman Season 2 is now exploring what happens when legacy collides with the future. Pops represents the past, a hard and unforgiving version of the oil business that shaped men into steel but left them broken inside. Tommy represents the present, a fixer forced to make impossible choices in a world where business and crime are inseparably linked. And Ainsley represents the future, a young woman stepping into adulthood with the weight of a legacy she didn't choose. Episode 1 shows her departure for college, but that departure is more than just a plot point. It's a symbol of what's at stake. Everything Tommy is fighting for, the land, the deals, the dangerous alliances, is ultimately about what he will leave behind for his children. But the haunting question is this: will he leave them a future or just ashes? By the time the first episode ends, Sheridan has set the stage for a season that feels bigger, darker, and more relentless than ever before. Cammy is ready to fight. The cartel is tightening its grip. Pops has stepped into the light, and Thornton's unpredictable power has entered the arena. And Tommy? He's caught in the middle, a man trying to protect his family while navigating a world where trust is a weakness and survival is never guaranteed. Episode 1 isn't just a premiere, it's a declaration. Landman Season 2 is here to prove that the fight for Texas oil isn't just about power. It's about identity, it's about family, and it's about how much a man can lose before there's nothing left of him to fight for. The deeper we move into Landman Season 2 Episode 1, the more it becomes clear that Tommy Norris is standing on ground that is shifting beneath his boots. The oil fields of West Texas were never safe, but now they feel like quicksand, pulling him further under with every step he takes. At the center of this storm is Cammy, who has stepped fully into her role as Monty's successor and declared war on anyone who doubts her. The trailer makes it undeniable. Cammy isn't here to play games. She's here to dominate. Her ruthless declaration that she is meaner than Monty isn't just bravado. It's a warning shot to everyone in her orbit, and Tommy knows better than anyone that she means every word. Their uneasy alliance, which began in the aftermath of Monty's death, crumbles almost immediately in episode 1, with Cammy pushing for control and Tommy resisting with equal force. Every look, every line of dialogue between them drips with tension, as if one wrong word could ignite a war neither of them is ready for. The danger of this rivalry is not only in the boardroom, but in how it spills into everything else. The cartel, the bankers, and the family standing behind Tommy, who are just as vulnerable as he is. But Sheridan is too clever to make this simply a battle between two strong-willed leaders. No, the brilliance of episode 1 is how he uses Cammy and Tommy's clash as a mirror for the larger war raging around them. Because as much as Cammy thinks she can control the company, and as much as Tommy insists he's the one running things, the cartel looms in the background as the true master of the game. And here's where Billy Bob Thornton's character steps in, adding an entirely new level of volatility to the story. Thornton embodies a man who thrives in chaos, who looks at Tommy's world of oil and power and sees not business but opportunity. Opportunity to exploit, manipulate, and control. The cartel doesn't care about Cammy's boardroom speeches or Tommy's loyalty to his family. What they care about is results, and Thornton's character makes it very clear in episode 1 that anyone who can't deliver those results will be eliminated. His scenes hum with danger, and while Cammy thinks she's playing the bankers and Tommy thinks he's navigating the cartel, Thornton makes it obvious that neither of them are as in control as they want to believe. And then there's Pops. Sam Elliott doesn't need many words to dominate a scene. His presence is enough to shift the balance of power in any direction he chooses. Episode 1 uses this to devastating effect. Pops doesn't come in guns blazing or with grand gestures. Instead, his arrival is quiet, almost understated, but it carries the weight of an earthquake. For Tommy, just hearing his father's voice is enough to strip away the armor he wears in front of everyone else. Pops doesn't see Tommy as the man who survived Monty, who negotiated with cartels, or who stood toe-to-toe with Cammy. Pops sees him as the boy who grew up under his shadow, and that dynamic sets the stage for some of the most emotionally charged scenes Sheridan has ever written. Pop's influence is immediate and suffocating. And what makes it worse is that his presence threatens to unravel everything Tommy has built. If Pops is truly the original Landman, as the rumors suggest, then Tommy is left facing a truth that could crush him. Maybe he was never the master of his own destiny at all. Maybe he's just been filling in until the real Landman decided to return. This generational clash isn't just about power, it's about identity. Tommy has built his life on being the fixer, the man who bends the rules but never breaks, the man who can survive anything. But Pops doesn't respect survival. Pops respects dominance. He respects strength that comes from crushing your enemies, not negotiating with them. And this difference in philosophy is set to rip father and son apart before they can even begin to reconcile. In episode 1, this conflict simmers beneath the surface, but the trailer makes it clear it will explode as the season unfolds. Watching Tommy try to navigate Cammy's ambition, Thornton's unpredictability, and Pop's suffocating presence all at once is what makes Landman Season 2 feel like it's building towards something massive. Every piece is in motion, and every piece is dangerous in its own way. And now we arrive at the final stretch, the part of Landman Season 2, Episode 1 that everyone will be talking about, the ending that will leave fans in shock, with questions racing in their minds and emotions running high. The closing act doesn't just set the tone for the rest of the season, it rips open wounds, exposes hidden agendas, and reminds us that in the world of Landman, no one is safe, no legacy is guaranteed, and every family tie can turn into a battlefield. The premiere's ending leaves Tommy standing at a crossroads, not just in his career or in his battles with Cammy, but in his very identity. Who is he without Monty's guidance? Who is he if his father, played by Sam Elliott, steps out of the shadows to claim his role as the original Landman? And what happens when Billy Bob Thornton's character, already a man of secrets and influence, begins pulling strings from the shadows that no one even realizes exist yet? This isn't just about oil rigs, money, or contracts anymore. It's about power, raw, ruthless, and unforgiving. And the ending makes it clear that Tommy will have to decide if he's strong enough to take it, or if he'll become another casualty, in this endless war. The final minutes of episode 1 are crafted with tension that feels unbearable, as though every breath you take is tied to Tommy's fate. Rumors have circled that a deal goes wrong, one that could cost lives and shift the balance of power forever. If this is true, then Landman Season 2 isn't just promising chaos, it's delivering it with fire and fury. The cartel's shadow is closer than ever, Cammy's ambition is growing sharper, and Tommy's family ties are crumbling under the weight of secrets. The ending doesn't give us comfort, it gives us dread. But it's the kind of dread that makes you desperate for episode 2, the kind that makes you rewatch the trailer frame by frame, looking for hints you might have missed. This is storytelling at its peak, where every character is walking a thin line between survival and destruction, and where even love and loyalty can turn deadly. So as the credits roll on episode 1, one thing becomes painfully clear. Landman is no longer just a drama about oil, greed, and ambition, it's a story about survival in its rawest form. Every character is fighting for a piece of something, whether it's land, money, power, or redemption, and not everyone will make it out alive. The premiere leaves you with a pounding heart, 1,000 questions, and one undeniable truth. Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton were not brought into this story to play safe. They are here to shake it, to fracture it, and to make sure that Season 2 of Landman will be remembered as one of the most explosive, heartbreaking, and thrilling seasons yet. And if this is just episode 1, imagine the storm that's still to come.